I've noticed it's been more challenging to, speak to the women in my life about it, for the fact of, like, if you start getting too technical, some way, not, I don't want to hear this, or if, they
You're
put,
mansplaining.
and also just like, they may put 150 to $100 in. That $100 may go down to like 65 or 60, and they're like, oh no, this is risky. And so, how do you, because I think that like crypto is like one of the biggest wealth transfers that may happen in our, you know, while we're alive. How
Yeah,
do we, frame this conversation if you're like, a guy speaking to a woman trying to say, this is like where you want to be. There's so much opportunity here for you. How do you convey that in a proper way without being offensive or coming off, aggressive or anything like that? Because I think a lot of men could use that advice.
absolutely. And you're right. I've seen this happen a couple of times at multiple conferences where a gentleman will be talking to a woman and he's like, "Oh, I know everything about this." And then the woman, I immediately see her face just lights and everything shut off because you're either one insulting her because she's already in the ecosystem and now you're just talking about it all over again rather than actually having a conversation. You are talking to a wall. And then two, you're not going at all into conversation about something that she's interested in. I don't want to talk about wallets. I don't want to talk about seed phrases or charts. I mean, some people do, absolutely, but when we're talking about what women think about the movie, what do women want? What do women like? Well, in the Cardano ecosystem, I can name quite a few things. If a woman likes books, talk about booktoken.io. Don't get into the technical things, but you can probably talk about how you just got a book online and you actually own the book. Holy cow, you own the book? Yeah, and I don't have to worry about paying Amazon for X amount of dollars and get discouraged when my subscription is up that I no longer own the book. I've seen that happen a couple of times with Amazon holders, including I have some books that I no longer have access to, even though I paid $24.99 for it. The heck? Music, you've got I Hold with some really cool tunes and beautiful work as well. You can start talking about music or how we onboarded one of my girlfriends was through art. And I was like, you like creating work. Why not? Okay, for example, FemFest is coming up this weekend. It's
Mm.
an event that I'm hosting with Future Fest of, if not more than half of the gallery that you'll be seeing in there has Web 2 artists. And how did I bring in the conversation? I was like, have you ever seen your work in a in a virtual gallery? And they're like, no, not really. I haven't really thought about it. Well, I'm curating it into a way that there will be booths for Vesper Wallet, booktoken.io, quite a few different like information booths where they can kind of go in, click on the website, save the tab to read later, but then they get a chance to be excited and see, oh my god, that's what my work looks like. This is what's possible. And I think that it's just by going by the normal conversations you would have on a day-to-day basis. How many people did I talk to about Starbucks? I mean, granted, their program is no longer in commission, but they had a blockchain thing and it was freaking awesome. I loved it, and I'm really sad that it's no longer a thing, but I did take quite a few notes of how you can pair the Web 2 and Web 3 thing together. You can use your points. Of course, I'm going to go to Starbucks and get points. How can I do those kind of things? Or if you are a gamer, what kind of games does she like? Does she like Candy Crush? Okay, well, why not check out Goombles? Why not, if you like, I don't know, like a D&D kind of thing, why not look at a few games that might have like Cardano Lands, I think might have some sort of like D&D esque stuff. And then if you're talking about investing, I would probably focus the investment conversation for the woman who's 40 and older, because most of those women already have capital or have some form of capital that they don't know what to do with it. I mean, I just learned how to create a high yield savings account. Never in my life did I think that that was something that was possible. And now I'm like, I wish I would have known this sooner. I wish I would have been able to double my money more. And then, okay, well, then how can I also translate that into blockchain? Did you know that you can put your money into a state pool and get X percentage money, every epoch or so? And if you happen to have an NFT, you can also stake it and get money. I mean, like with Omen, Heck, I talk about putting something somewhere and forgetting about it. I love my omen. I absolutely love my omens, and I was like, okay, well, I saw that there was a way to go with staking something, so I staked it, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's staked. Like I can't touch it, can't do anything with it. Lies. I can totally do stuff with it, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, I go in and I look that I have rewards that I can harvest or whatever. 300 ADA, and I was like, where did this? I didn't do anything. I literally put something like a squirrel. I took my nut and I put it under the ground. Came back a couple of months later for the next season, and I come out and here's the fruit of my labor. I did nothing, which is really cool. And then like just like having regular conversation. You don't have to go into technical things if she doesn't want to get into technical things. But if she wants to get into technical things, absolutely. There are some women, that we've
We're
been
all about it. Yeah.
yeah, who are like, yeah, I'm a developer. I can do some things. I mean, take a look at Chain Lobby. Most of that team is women. They are self-funded and everything is social-fi. No one's really talking about it, but it's really actually really freaking cool and I love it. And it was also, a branch derived from Ada Digis. That's a pretty cool project. That's pretty awesome. I think that's really cool. And more kudos to them that most of their team is women. And you're talking about there's not a lot of women in the ecosystem. There's a lot of women in the ecosystem. If anything, I would say Cardano is more women centered than anything I've ever seen. You've got the coin that's named after a woman. You've got the president, Tamara. You've got the first stake pool operator was a woman. You've got the blue chip NFT project, which was Clay. So I mean, if you're gonna talk about anything, talk about Clays. And if you're ever feeling lost, in trying to explain something, it's not going to be offensive if you say, "Can I introduce you to one of my girlfriends in the space?" I think that you guys would get along really, really well, and I think that's really powerful because not only are you creating friendships with people more deeper than what you already have, but you're giving her a place that one person that you trust, common ground, and
Helping build new relationships.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty powerful. Invite them to your local events that might be happening. I think that, governance things are starting to pop off. May not be something that they should be interested in listening to, but absolutely would be intrigued to listen to the happy hour thing, I'm sure.